Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. Today, I want to talk about a topic that many of you have been asking me about. How much time do I study English every day? This is a question I get a lot from people who are trying to improve their English skills, whether they're preparing for exams, learning for work, or just wanting to communicate better. So, in this episode, I'll be sharing my personal experience with studying English and how I manage my time effectively. Why daily English practice matters. Before I dive into how much time I spend each day, let me talk a little about why daily practice is so important. Learning a language is not something you can do overnight. It's like going to the gym. You need to work on it consistently. By studying every day, you build momentum, and over time, you start to see real progress. Even if you're only able to dedicate a short amount of time each day, the consistency is what really makes the difference. Now, let's get into the details of how I study. On average, I spend about 2 to 3 hours a day studying English, but I don't do it all at once. I like to break it up into smaller sessions throughout the day. This helps me stay focused and prevents burnout. In the morning, I usually spend about 30 to 45 minutes listening to podcasts or watching videos in English. This helps me warm up my brain and get used to the sound of the language. It also helps improve my listening skills, which are just as important as speaking, reading, or writing. Then, in the afternoon or evening, I dedicate around 1 to 2 hours to more focused study sessions. During this time, I practice speaking, writing, or grammar. I like to mix it up depending on what I feel like improving that day. For example, if I want to work on pronunciation, I'll spend time repeating phrases and recording myself to see where I can improve. Another key part of my routine is integrating English into my daily life. I try to use English as much as possible, even outside of my formal study sessions. For instance, when I'm cooking or doing household chores, I'll listen to English music or audiobooks. If I'm texting a friend who's also learning English, we might switch to English for a bit of extra practice. These little moments add up and help me stay immersed in the language, even when I'm not studying formally. Now, you might be wondering what tools or resources I use. I'm a big fan of language learning apps like Duolingo or Memrise. They're great for practicing vocabulary and grammar in a fun and interactive way. I also use YouTube channels that focus on English learning, like English with Lucy or BBC Learning English. These resources make learning more enjoyable and easier to fit into a busy schedule. One of the hardest things about learning any language is staying motivated. There are days when you might feel like giving up, especially when the progress seems slow. But what I've found is that setting small, achievable goals can help keep you on track. For example, I might set a goal to learn 10 new vocabulary words this week, or practice speaking for 20 minutes each day. These small wins add up and give you a sense of accomplishment. So, to sum it all up, I spend about 2 to 3 hours each day studying English, but I spread it out and try to make it as enjoyable as possible. Everyone's schedule is different, and it's important to find a routine that works for you. The key is consistency and finding ways to incorporate English into your daily life. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope this episode has given you some useful insights into how you can manage your English study time. Remember, every little bit helps. If you have any questions or want to share how much time you spend studying English, feel free to leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast for more tips and tricks on learning English. See you next time.